Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 4 of Dialogue Tree. I am joined, as always, by the actual Daniel Haberike Padilla.
Hola, amigos.
I guess he's using a soundboard for himself this week. And not only him, we are also joined by Spencer, Minnesota Fats, Biddle.
All right, where's this asshole?
Yeah, okay, that didn't work. Hi. You're supposed to say something.
I'm not Spencer.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna switch. Yeah,
yeah,
and,
funny.
okay. And Madeline of Black Metal Troy, Biddle.
Oh.
Yikes! Yikes! That's pretty good, though. That's pretty good. What's going on? What's going on with your life? With your lives, Spencer and Madeline.
I just woke up.
Nice.
I don't believe you.
I just
All right.
I spent the past hour and a half sweating nervously.
Oh no.
Okay, how was Thanksgiving?
I was gonna ask. Yeah.
We ate food.
Dude, it was fucking rad. It was
I love
awesome.
eating food.
How's the
I
chicken?
know, I eat food like on a daily basis.
I try to do it at
Someone
least
I love
twice
it.
a day.
How's the chicken that Spencer made?
It was good.
Miraculous, dude.
No shit, for real. Damn, dude.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
so good.
I'm not very good at cooking meat.
I don't think I'd ever had anything that you've made, to be honest. That's why I was like surprised when Madeline said that you were cooking. I don't
I don't know
remember
how
you
you
cooking
cook.
anything at all before.
Yeah, I mean, I think I cooked like what necessary junior and senior year.
Right.
I was never like I don't know. I was ass. It was just like
It's never like a
mush.
big like recipe type deal, kind of like that.
Every once in a while with Maddie, maybe. But like Matt, I think when I was in AmeriCorps, you and Cam sent me a picture of like slop, like nutrient slop that you guys
Oh
made.
yeah, like the classic, just like beans and rice like filling for like tortillas or whatever, and you just keep it in the fridge and use it when you want it.
Yeah, that was kind of how we handled food. I think those 2 years.
Oh right,
It's just like gruel that will keep you alive.
right.
Nutrient
Interesting.
mush, Soylent Green. We were kind of ahead of the time.
Right.
But no, I mean, I don't know. I think
I feel like I was definitely I had recipes and then you started stealing them and then you started cooking.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, once I graduated,
The Brussels sprouts really started this.
you think so?
Oh, you mean the vegan meatballs?
Vegan meatball.
Well, Maddie was playing a spooky game with her brother,
Nervous sweating.
and I was taking a fucking nap.
You were
In
sleeping
preparation.
while the horror was going on.
Yeah.
I'm sweaty.
Weren't you playing fucking Mario Party 2?
Yes.
Yeah, Maddie's been all over the place. today.
Bowser's been a lot today for me.
Okay, but these were
Okay.
different games, right?
Yeah, well,
Bowser.
we did get Bowser a lot, so I guess that classifies as.
Well, there's
That's
like the
spooky.
haunted house, forest, whatever.
Oh, like the board, yeah.
Yeah, skateboard
true.
mini game where you're running from the boo.
Right.
It's pretty horrifying.
I have a lot on my list of shit that I wanted to talk about today, but I don't know if you guys had anything in particular that you wanted to bring up.
Anything except for what you want to talk about.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, we can just avoid those topics for like 50 minutes.
All right, cool. That's
I'm
fine,
mad
I
because
guess.
my mouse has an account tied to it, and I don't know the password, so
Your
I can't
mouse?
change my mouse settings. Yeah, isn't that stupid as hell?
That's the
What-
dumbest
what-
shit I've ever heard, dude.
What
It used to
company
just
is that?
sign in automatically, and now it it failed or whatever, and I can't change my mouse settings because I don't know the.
But what
password.
what kind of settings do you need to adjust?
I just like to. There's two little buttons on the side, and I like to change what they're bound to for Titanfall because it doesn't support it natively, but I can't.
Gotcha.
What company is that, Matt?
I think this is Razer. I got it like 3 years ago.
Oh,
It
Razer.
says Razer on the bottom.
Oh, yours is a razor.
Everyone avoid Razer from now on.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is a nice razor.
We're starting the dialogue-free boycott
Everything's like that, right? Everything has an account, and it's awful.
for Razer.
No, just like in
general.
universe.
Yeah.
It's like
I
selling your
have-
information is profitable.
What kind of information is gleaned from like a fucking mouse?
Well, they want I think they want like your name and email and stuff when you sign up. Like they probably just sell everyone's emails, right?
Right.
I'm
So,
sure
like,
it cloud syncs if you have like two computers with both the same Razer mouse. It probably cloud syncs your DPI or whatever, but that's definitely not worth having the account for.
No.
That's one of the things that I kept hearing from, because I watch a lot of gaming YouTube people and whatever, and like everything that they like all of them were talking about how when they got the new gen consoles and whatever like a couple of weeks ago, they all mentioned how like you need to spend like a good few hours like with initial setup. Like
Right.
it's not like you don't just like get a console and turn it up and like put a game in and you're playing anymore. Like you straight up have to like download fucking day one packets and day one patches and like.
Well, yeah, I guess the day one.
You need a
Yeah.
Microsoft account to play split screen on Xbox now.
To
Oh,
play
God.
split screen, like
And you
the
can't
same
like
person as
and
well?
you can't like make a guest. You have to like make an email and everything.
Come on,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, that
shitting.
was the
You're
case
shitting me,
with-
dude.
With the Xbox One or whatever the previous generation
No,
was.
oh, I guess you're right. I guess when we
I
used to,
recall trying to play Rocket League with Nick, and I
yeah,
had to like make a fucking Microsoft account just
Yeah.
to like play a game
that's
of Rocket League.
true.
It's a
Yeah,
complete
that's true.
disaster.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's total
Yeah, that's
garbage. That's making us sound so old, probably, but like whatever.
No, it's
Yeah.
definitely just like what's the word for it? The opposite of an innovation. Like it's definitely worse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Xbox
mean, right.
360 had guest accounts too, and I mean,
Yeah.
kids are still experiencing that
PlayStation
shit.
4 still has guest accounts, man.
Also, can we talk about how garbage the naming scheme for Xbox is? Like, I don't,
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
don't
weird.
know what is what at this point.
Yeah, it's not coherent.
It's hard to describe what model of Xbox you have.
Imagine being like a grandma trying to buy their kid like a nice gift.
I want the Xbox.
The new one. What the fuck's the new one
And
called?
they're like, yeah, do you want the Series S or the Xbox One?
Or
Right.
Series X, and like, well, what do those all mean?
The 360 sounds like the newest one.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
highest.
right.
Like back when I was day tall and James bought his Xbox as a kid, it was a 360. And even then, they like rattled off all this shit, and we were just sitting there like,
Oh yeah, because it's like a slim and like
yeah, well, and,
Oh,
like
right.
they were like, well, these are the different things, and like the four of us, my whole family, were just sitting there like, can we just get an X?
Xbox.
Right.
And
Right.
it's not even like, I don't know. At least the PS4 Pro versus the PS4, like like if someone's like, oh, plays high resolution, you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Like Series
Yeah.
X versus Series, is it like N? Y? What the hell is the letter?
It's Series S, I think. It's slim,
X
whatever.
and X.
S and
Okay.
X. Even though it's
Way too
Xbox,
similar.
Yeah, like it's still not very conducive, you know? Like,
it's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of weird. Yeah, it should just be one is the default and one is the series.
Or how about Xbox Series better and Xbox Series back?
Xbox and the X'd, and
Right.
the X is capital.
Well, since we're talking about new gen consoles, whatever. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was how wild people are going about scalping these fucking new devices. You know, and so like the information that I'm going to talk about is information that I got from Spawnwave's video from this morning. So today's Friday the 27th. So if you want to go check that out, apparently, dude, like. So the way this works is there's like a Discord that's selling access to like the code to the program, like the bot program that allows you to like set up bots to buy the fucking PlayStation and Xbox as soon as it goes like in stock on websites, right? So like you have to buy a subscription to go into the Discord, and then you can and so you have access to the code and whatever. And what's wild is, dude, apparently people have been like giving scalpers like a bunch of shit everywhere, right? Like on YouTube and like on social media and everything, which is totally fair. And they released a really weird statement saying some bullshit like, dude, this year, pandemic, lots of people have been furloughed and fired and whatever. And this is like a way that we're making money. So like, sorry if your child doesn't wake up on Christmas morning with the new PS5 or the new Xbox Series or whatever. But remember that there's children who are not waking up to anything. So we don't regret anything. That's what they said, something like that. Which is, I think it's, hustle, whatever, during like a really tough year. I kind of get that, but also like it just seems incoherent because like if you're struggling with money, how are you gonna go and like spend $500 and just hope that someone buys it off you for $1,000?
The guy's selling it, or the guy just like a community?
No, like the community of scalpers. Apparently, there's like a Facebook group or whatever about this.
I don't buy that because if you're buying 4 PS5s to sell later, you just spent $2,000.
Yeah,
maybe that could go towards literally anything else more productive.
Rent, food, heating, utilities, all that shit, man. And like, and like. You're buying them, I guess, if you go on eBay, like a PS5 will be going, I think at the very least, like $1,000 and whatever, right? So like you're spending $500 on this machine and you're hoping people are willing and able to pay twice that price, and if not, if people are not buying it, you have to like keep reducing the price until you have to sell it for like 600 instead of 500. And then what benefit do you get? You know what I mean? Like what difference really? If you're furloughed and you have no income, what does like $100 really mean? You know, like because you're still buying the PlayStation, you're still buying the code for the bots and whatever, so you can actually like buy the PlayStations before everyone else. So like, I don't know. It just seems like a really incoherent statement and really incoherent logic to me. I think it's total garbage.
Do you know how much the subscription is to the code?
No, the dude.
Probably
no.
a lot.
I mean, yeah. I honestly don't
Probably
really
hundreds
know.
of dollars.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't even surprise me, to be honest. Yeah.
I honestly, I think that sounds like bullshit, and you should just lean into it and say, there's the market and they're playing it. And I don't think it's those people's fault. It's the forced scarcity of Microsoft, for creating the situation in the first place.
Do you think it's an intentional?
I'm pretty sure they were on the news. They reported every GameStop in the state only received 2 Xboxes on Black Friday.
Shit.
That's like a very specifically low number to send out.
Yeah, right.
For people, they know people are going to be camping out for like days for this event.
So my question here is though, like how much does something like COVID throughout the entire year impact like production? Like is this the thing that like maybe production was stalled because of COVID, and that's why like the supply of the actual machines has been so low this year as opposed to like any other like console launch day?
I don't think that much though. That's a pretty scarce.
I think they would do this anyways, even if it,
Right.
Maybe that's the case, but they do this anyways. So,
but the thing here is that I feel like the scalping issue has gotten so bad over the recent years that like even if supply was high, like well, I guess there wouldn't be scares, right? Like people wouldn't have to rely on buying them off scalpers. Wouldn't? Yeah, never mind then. Yeah.
Like this is a very different thing than the Mario bullshit.
Right.
Because that was like unlimited copies for now, but it ends at a certain date. So
right.
Go out and buy it for sure. But there's limited copies now. So every impulse buy that was out there just isn't having a chance to.
Well, people are still like, I gotta pre-order it to get on the next list, because it's like having that rollout. If you don't get it, then it's like now I'm waiting 2 more months.
But I feel like there's enough time for people to like think, oh, maybe it's not worth $500 yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Microsoft gets away with so much shit.
They have a lot of money.
Right. They have all the money.
They make garbage products. Then again, I'm using a Windows 10 machine.
But yeah, it's the least headache-inducing option for an OS. Like, yeah, Linux is cool, but I don't want to fucking deal with Linux. It's a pain. I've done it. It sucks.
Yeah, and Mac is pretty productive, but it's so fucking expensive.
It's so fucking expensive,
like prohibitive.
Right. And
but
so the issue has gone so bad that like even Gerard Carlile, the completionist, he was like tweeting out a couple of days ago something about like FedEx people literally stealing PS5. The PlayStation 5 that they're supposed to like deliver. There's been reports all over the place. Even Gerard Carlile has talked about it, how like FedEx people are just straight up stealing PlayStation 5s that are not getting delivered ever to like the people who actually pre-order them.
And it's like you just say, oh, I left it there, and then it's like now I have 3 paychecks worth of money for doing absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah, man, right.
So
exactly.
It's definitely not like an unreasonable scenario to happen.
Right.
Especially because so many people steal shit off the porch anyways. It's like hard to pin it on.
It used to happen all the time. We were in fucking Worcester, yeah.
Does Sony have to like replace that then? Is that their...
I don't know how that would go.
Mail is insured. Sony probably pays the insurance on the mail, but I don't know.
And I know when I ordered my iPad, I was very paranoid because they do contactless delivery. Right. So with really expensive things, you usually have to sign for it, but they just left my iPad on my porch.
Yikes! Right.
So that's because they might be able to abuse the fact that we do have a pandemic to just not deliver it, say they left it there because they didn't want to come in contact,
or because they're so overwhelmed too. Like they have like a way too many packages.
Right. That shit is bound to get lost, I guess, kind of, right? Because there's so much shit being transited over delivery.
You're not enough time to wait at someone's door.
Right.
Also, the PS5s are pretty big, and they all probably come in like the same box. It probably says Sony. So like, it's probably a lot of people who are just like legitimately stealing it, who aren't postal workers, who are just actually keeping it. Yeah.
scalpers thing is weird, dude. I don't know. Who is like the spokesperson for scalpers?
I don't know. So again, like I'm not, I guess, as professional on this show as maybe I should have been. But Spawnwave in the video that I'm talking about, he like covers it in like a lot more detail than I did. So you can like if you're curious, you can go ahead and check out his video. But that the idea was kind of that, right? Apparently, there's like a group on Facebook where people like organize to do this shit because it's like a whole operation. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that the average people can just do on their own, right? It's like a big operation. Like people have like stocked up on like hundreds. I mean, there's like a group of people who were like able to like procure like around 3,000 fucking PlayStation 5. That's like a significant amount of units,
How much is that? Is that like $15,000
times 500? Whatever.
Times 500? No, that's way more than that.
That's
so much fucking money.
Yeah, man.
I really don't get the argument either that they're like, you won't get your PS5, but some kids don't get anything for Christmas. It's like, what does you scalping the shit and making a huge profit have to do with a child not getting anything for Christmas? Because they're still not. I know less.
I mean,
kids
they'll also get something. They're just not going to get a PS5. You could just be like, kids don't need the PS5 today. There's other video games. Like, I feel like that's a much more reasonable argument.
And like, are the scalpers saying that it's their children who aren't getting things for Christmas, so this money is going to help a child? Because otherwise, it's just a fake guilting to justify stealing shit.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's like exactly. I think they're like guilt tripping people. Like, I think what they're trying to say is, like, the people who are doing this is people who are getting fucked over by the pandemic. We've been unemployed and whatever. So like this is why we're doing this, so we don't regret anything, is what I think is like the idea they're going for.
Like someone could have spent like way too much money because they really wanted this thing. Like they could be stealing from someone that spent too much for their paycheck too.
Right.
Like that's not a good argument. Like just because you bought a PS5 does not mean you have money.
Right.
Also, we don't know, we're not in the company, so we can argue about the scarcity being forced or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's definitely their fault because, like, I'm sure these guys are smart and good coders, but there's just some guys on Discord like running their whole website dry, and they don't, they're not stopping it. They could cease and desist them or hire them, or they don't care. But it's definitely the company.
Right, exactly, because the company is getting the money in the end. They're still just getting like the money anyway. So like they don't, right?
You think they would care because technically someone is making more money than them.
That's true, but they can't. I mean, unless they are the scammers, there's no way around that because you can't upcharge.
Well, that'd be wildly conspiratory if there's.
I'm not saying they are at all. I'm just saying I don't think there's any way to actually get it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's what you said. I'm just saying it'd be funny and wildly conspiratory. If it's actually just funny people fucking doing it.
Shit.
Yeah, right.
If scalpers get a bunch of PS5s, Sony gets $500 each, right? And then when the scalpers' prices are so high, no one wants to buy from scalpers, then people buy from Sony even more.
That's
good
true.
point.
Yeah.
So Sony just gets like more business objectively.
Just cranks the pre-orders.
Do you think that is getting like, that the mailing services are getting hit by that?
Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah, I think that they probably. I'm not sure about who that falls back on, but it probably flows back a little bit.
USPS is going to crumble because of PS5s.
Yeah. God damn. Not even like the whole election thing could bring them down, but the whole PS5 Xbox fiasco.
The Christmas rush.
Right. I don't know. Any closing thoughts on this issue?
Are you gonna get a PS5, Daniel?
Not anytime soon, dude. Like I feel like I eventually will end up getting one because I'll eventually want to play like the new FIFA and whatever. But like I am certainly in no rush to like make the upgrade now, Especially because I don't think anyone who would play FIFA with me is thinking about doing the upgrade like as soon as possible. So I can just keep playing fucking FIFA 21, FIFA 22 on the PS4 with them most likely,
I kind of hope games are more interesting this generation.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean that's kind of like the thing, like so far, like the games that I've been playing, the games that like look, that are like on the schedule to be released like over the next year, they just look like the same kind of games that we have on the current generation, or I guess previous generation at this point, except with like nicer graphics, which is not interesting enough for me. You know what I mean?
I can already play Demon's Souls. Like it's fun.
Right.
Yeah, but with all these freaking teraflops, right? You'd hope that they can use the extra CPU processing power to kind of, pump out some interesting systematic things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm sure something good will come out, but
yeah, right.
It's what percentage of it will be exclusive to console, to especially PlayStation, and how much of it will just be like Destiny. Right. I feel like Destiny, that's fine, but it's like you can play games like that anywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like I've looked at like the lineup of games coming out on whatever Xbox and Xbox Series S and the PS5, and like nothing in that lineup makes me, oh shit, I wish I had a fucking PS5 to like play that right now. You know, like Sackboy is available on PS4.
Yeah,
Miles Morales is available on PS4, and every other game that I'm actually looking forward to come out is on the Switch. You know, which I already own. So
the only one that I've been tempted with is the Switch, but that's because of Animal Crossing.
and whatever the new Zelda ends up being.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah,
Right.
that whatever. Yeah, that's all I'm looking forward to. Really,
That's been a while though.
I know it's gonna be years. I'm sure.
But supposedly, sorry, go ahead, Maddie.
I was just saying that Nintendo makes interesting games. Like they're not just first-person shooters.
And they're not right. They're not just like hyper realistic. Like even like artistically, they're interesting and like stylistically and everything. You know,
Breath of the Wild is a feast.
Yeah,
it's quite cool. Yeah,
right. And I was thinking now because I saw whatever. Right, this dude that I follow on Twitter, who's like a big Spurs fan. I guess he does a little bit of gaming in his YouTube channel too. He tweeted something a couple of days ago saying something like, you know, like hyper realistic looking games are nice and everything, but I find that to be like the games that stay relevant the least amount of time. Like if there's like a game that comes out with like a very particular, very specific, very, you know, I guess that, right, just very particular and specific like art style and everything, that's more likely to be like remembered and memorable for a while, as opposed to like having a more realistic looking Call of Duty every year and you'll just, you know what I mean, Call of Duty Ghosts, you already forgot. I mean, not Ghost, whatever the fuck, Cold War. I think.
Yeah, you even said the wrong one. See?
Oh no, Ghost.
You're right, exactly. And then the new one will come out next year, and you'll forget about fucking Cold War.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult because those are just kind of cookie cutter at this point. Like, I don't know. I still have good memories of Call of Duty 4, even though it like tried to be photorealistic at the time, just because it does more interesting things.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know, with social media and everything, there's like a very volatile like wave of culture, right? It's like what's on the rise and what's fall. Like, remember Fall Guys? What's fucking happened to Fall Guys? Where is it? Like, it was the hottest.
No one's talking about this shit anymore. You're right. Yeah,
but there's just like a very strong push to have, you know, for something to be on top and for have like a very solid narrative that you can latch onto without actually researching into it. And this just kind of like circulates around to like something, and like Among Us is probably on the way out.
I was gonna say Among Us,
I was thinking if Among Us was gonna remain as relevant now, if once, you know, like pandemic starts to like settle out, you know what I mean? Like, are people gonna still want to play fucking Among Us all the time?
It is a perfect pandemic.
Yeah, and that was a bummer because you have to have like a lot of people to play. Because I know like when we play with my brother, like I really like that because that's like some time I get to hang out with my brother. But then I'm like, I rely on 8 other people joining every week.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I got the Phasmophobia, so I could play other shit with him.
It's very streamer friendly too, because you like get 9 other channels, right? And then it's like now you share.
Everyone has content. Yeah. And I mean, right. I guess I don't just coming back to like the thing that I mentioned, the tweet. I don't think that's necessarily like true, but I know it's the case, at least for me. And there's people like me out there, you know what I mean? I would imagine there's more people like me, right? Like, I find if a game is more like stylistically cool, I find that to be more interesting for me and more memorable for me than just like games that just straight up look hyper realistic. And like the only thing going for those games is just how hyper realistic they look. You know what I mean?
Well, so I think what's interesting about that is that there are games that attempt to look realistic but still have style. Because I was thinking about MGS3 and how I know you adore that game.
Oh yeah.
Even though
it's a very realistic looking game. Well, realistic looking, not flat.
Right. It tries to look realistic, but it has so much more character elsewhere.
Right. It does have a lot of personality. Yeah. Right. No,
yeah, now that you mentioned it, it is very muddy, kind of Call of Duty game.
Yeah, just
like very sepia toned.
So like, I don't know. It's not. I don't think. I guess style can be in like all different kinds of facets.
Yeah.
Like, people are fucking really sick of open world games, even if they can be really pretty, just because they're so like copy pasted. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a little like, oh man, Cyberpunk is open world. Maybe I don't want to play it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know. RPGs tend to work a little differently, I think. Play The Witcher 3 at all?
Oh no, I only played The Witcher 1.
Oh my god.
But Daniel played The Witcher 3.
I played it for like 10 hours and I haven't played it since. But it is very good. I do like the open world in that game. It's so especially like playing it on handheld, man. It's just so relaxed. I don't know. At least I found it super relaxing to just like sit wherever I want to sit and just like walk around and run around my horse and shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I played Red Dead. That's a fucking mouthful. Red Dead Redemption 2, and I adore the open world of that, mostly just because it's such a visual glory to behold
Right.
at any moment that like walking through the woods actually kind of emulates like walking through the woods with like animals
Right.
and plants, and there's always something visually interesting going
Yeah.
on. But
Right.
that doesn't mean that the rest of the game is actually deep. It's just like everything
Right.
enough to maintain my attention and kind of get me into this zen zone where the world is interesting enough. But then I think about like Assassin's Creed, like Valhalla looks garbage. I just have zero interest in that. And I picked up Odyssey maybe a year or two ago because I really like ancient Greece. And there was just so little going on mechanically and even like stylistically that there was just nothing to cling on to except check boxes, like mobile.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no like core interesting drive. I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking for with greater CPU power is more
Right.
potential for like flexible situations that are actually
Right.
Right.
genuinely responsive. It can handle more variables, right?
Right.
Yeah.
More just opportunities.
That's what I think of when you say open world. It's like the little mini map in the corner, and it's just like full of fucking symbols,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, oh,
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like the open world game I played the most is Skyrim, and I could complain a lot about Skyrim, but also the
No.
open world in that is really good because
Yeah.
there's so much you can get up to.
And Skyrim is
And it's
beautiful.
gorgeous, and the music is just like genuinely moving sometimes. So
Yeah.
you're like this is nice. And then The Witcher, I was looking for something like that when I played that game,
Right.
and then I ended up just thinking, here's this shit again every time
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
the thing about The Witcher that the writing is so excellent.
Yeah.
Right.
I did not play The Witcher,
I
but
know.
the writing itself is very compelling.
And I found with Skyrim that I would play the storyline, but I would play for the side quests. And in
Yeah.
The Witcher, I sort of just play for the storyline.
Right. Right.
right.
And
I
there's
think
more
Well,
in it.
Skyrim, all the quests are like handmade, so you're not like just like doing procedural shit, you know?
Right. Yeah, right.
what I was thinking about recently is, because I fucking love PS2 Grand Theft Autos, right? 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. I fucking love them, and they like represent my childhood in a lot of ways and shit like that. But then I played 4, and like I don't know. I don't want to say that I hated it. I just didn't like it at all, and I did not care for it. And I've never laid a hand on GTA 5. But on the other hand, I am quite interested in playing something like Yakuza 0, right? And I know the different kinds of games, but that's what I'm getting at. Like Yakuza 0 is still like open world kind of like that, where you can just like fight with people in the streets and whatever. You can run around the streets and whatever. But that's what I'm like. I feel like Grand Theft Auto 5, like sure it has its online shit where you can do a bunch of like wacky shit, but just like
golf.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it's just too. It doesn't feel like a video game, right? Like you can go to a golf club and play golf, and maybe like the physics are super realistic, and that's impressive in terms of like programming and whatever. But like it just looks like real life, and I don't find that interesting. Like if I'm gonna play golf, I'd rather play fucking Golf Story.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or just golf.
Or just golf, exactly. But then you have a game like Yakuza 0 where it's also like crime and shit like that, but it's so much gamier, right? It's so much like it looks real when it has to be, just like when you're like walking around, but then once you start actually fighting, you have like all these like special powers and shit like that, and it's just hilarious, right? It's like super entertaining, and it's something that I'm infinitely more interested to like playing than I would ever be playing fucking Grand Theft Auto 5, you know?
Right. So I play a lot of GTA 4 at a friend's house in high school, like hours and hours of it, just dicking around. And I think the reason for that was because the physics in that game were so like ahead of the time of everything else. Like the way that, like if you shoot out like one car's tire, it'll like list to the side like the way that it would.
Right.
And, like the ragdolls are just insane. And
Yeah.
I hadn't seen stuff like that before. So there was a lot of, I guess, like intrinsic motivation to dicking around in that game because it was unpredictable and kind of new. But GTA 5, every shootout kind of plays out the same, and every like physics interaction plays out the same. So like there wasn't variability in outcomes, right?
Gotcha.
So for GTA 5, I played the campaign, and it was really well made,
Right,
quite
right.
fun, except
Exactly.
for a horrible torture scene.
Right.
But
Did anything with that hick guy?
Trevor,
Right.
yeah, he's mad. But so there was only extrinsic motivation in that game, which
Right.
was like cutscenes and like I don't know, I guess like action blockbuster moments. But the
Right.
intrinsic motivation wasn't there, even if technically it played better than GTA 4.
Yeah, and that exactly. Like I'm not shitting on. Like I'm sure they're great games, and like, and as you said, like it's like coding and programming wise, I'm sure they're like top of the line and shit like that. And I see the value in that. It's just for me, I think it's infinitely more interesting the variability that you get in like fucking Vice City and San Andreas because of how bullshit they're programmed and how video gamey they are. I find that more interesting than like the variability that there could ever be in GTA 4. You know,
how much weird shit can happen.
Yeah,
and also all the cheats, like just putting like hooker
Right.
chaos mode and just seeing shit go down in like 3 different cities in California is so interesting.
right.
Yeah, I will say, as someone who played a lot of GTA 5 and only ever GTA 5, the literal only reason I played that game with my brother was to fuck around and get cars stuck to each other and do stupid shit with cars.
Yeah.
Like, but then there was that game Just Cause where you could do that and then a lot more, and it was way more
Right.
So many explosions and like the the flying around.
Yeah, hitting things with a motorcycle when you're going really fast in Just Cause is intrinsic motivation in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like Just Cause, like they get the point you're playing the game better because the story is just like stupid as hell. But
Right.
and instead they just give you a grappling.
Oh my god. The end of Just Cause 2 takes place literally while you're jumping from nuke to nuke, missile flying through the air. And
That's
you're like
fucking
trying to
amazing.
assassinate the president of like a Caribbean dictatorship
It's
who's
so
also
dumb.
riding a nuclear missile. It's fucking insane.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
That game we played with like a friend in high school, and it made him laugh so hard he threw up.
No. What?
Yeah.
You got your floor.
Yeah, just straight into his hands. He's very nice.
Oh, very
but,
very
like,
polite.
Yeah, and then ran away. It was so funny because we were just like fucking around and like driving on a motorcycle, and like that's what I wanted in GTA 5 when I finally played the auto game.
Just
I just ended up going back to Just Cause.
Right.
Along the same lines, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Unity lately, which is the like French Revolution one.
There's so many.
I know there's a billion. It was from I think it's like 6 or 7 years ago.
That's the old one that had the really bad like eyeball pop in that everyone made fun of.
Exactly that one. Because the like parkour is actually really enjoyable, and there's a bunch of like little tiny decisions to make, like when you're climbing up a wall and you reach the top, like if you push the stick at just the right angle, your character does like a spin up and then starts moving in one direction like immediately, which is faster than just going straight up. So like there's always moves like that to think about. So every time that you're making a jump or making a move, you're making an interesting decision and then trying to like mechanically produce that result, right? But then in like Odyssey, all the free running was the exact same every time, so it was just super not interesting. It's like Matt, you don't like FIFA at all, or like I don't know, you tolerate it, but it's not like
it's okay to play, yeah.
But you love Rocket League,
yeah.
Because I think while like this sport is theoretically similar, Rocket League has so many more micro decisions in any given moment.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it's just more like active and personal to have to like angle the pass right than like tell a guy to angle the pass right.
Just pressing the X button and like the path will be almost perfect 90% of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Intrinsic, extrinsic. I think.
Yeah.
Probably why no one played Mirror's Edge too, because the open world only has so many parkour routes, so you're just gonna be like doing the same shit over and over. It's not like
fun. And that's why Paris. I played Catalyst too because I loved the first one, and it's so limited. There's like very distinct paths. It's not like a city that the buildings are close enough to make your own paths. It's that they have routes they made for you, and then you follow the same one back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Which is why, like the 1700s Paris, the buildings are dense enough for you to make your own paths every time. So every time you want to get somewhere, you decide how to do it, and it changes every time you do it. But yeah, Catalyst was just this awkward, horrible middle ground where it's Mirror's Edge 1, but you play the same level 10 times.
Man, that's the
Yeah.
Ghost Runner is like that too. Kind of
Oh boy.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you play that?
I did. I played through it. So yeah, I did buy it. Like, it's really good actually in the combat arenas because it's like you can approach it however you want. But there's like in between sections where you just have to like follow a path that they set out, and it's just like execute on this path, and like there's like collectibles or whatever if you're like looking out for it, but it's not creative like Mirror's Edge is.
Expressive.
Yeah.
Even Hotline Miami, I feel like had so many options for like combat arena solutions.
Yeah, I honestly feel like Hotline Miami was only good because it was like at the time it was like the only game like it, and like you shouldn't play Hotline Miami anymore. It kind of sucks.
There's so many more options now. Yeah,
I think it's still pretty good, but I hate the second one.
Oh,
I didn't even play the second one actually. I knew
tried
hot.
it. It doesn't make any. The level of design is just awful, man. It's like the worst part of the first one was the guns, just because they were hard to aim. And
Right.
the second one, everyone has guns, and all these enemies are like they can see you off screen, so you can't see them. And
oh, that sucks.
they'll just shoot you, and the sight lines are like far too long, and it's just it slows the whole thing down. It's awful.
Yeah.
Which is why the first one is still fun because it's these like tiny rooms that you just have to like execute a plan through.
Yeah, there were just some parts that were like that, right? Where you like scroll the screen up and there's a guy camping in the corner with a gun, and it's like I have a melee weapon and I didn't know he was going to be there, so that's pretty frustrating. And then there was that forced stealth thing, which just like why?
The hospital thing.
Yeah,
I didn't mind that. I thought that was
Really?
an okay narrative moment. Yeah, I don't know.
I was
think
like, I want to kill people. The story doesn't make any sense.
I know, but I think it provided a nice counterpoint to like you're usually kind of like the empowered like Jason character, right? So to like suddenly be a weakling for even just one level is I think it's a good contextual counterpiece.
I don't know. I was pretty sick of it by the end because I kept doing it over.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't blame you about
Which
that.
is kind of the point of those games, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
but I just like Katana Zero a lot more, and I felt like I was in control of what the fuck was going on.
The slow motion thing is pretty helpful with that.
Yeah, no, even if I've actually played through like half of it without slow motion, and just the bullet parrying is like it for me, I think.
Okay, that works. When I played Ghost Runner, I think the part that really got me was I hated how the like dodge felt, and it can only be done in midair. Is that right?
It's like you can strafe midair.
I hated how it felt. Just like jumping into that and then it not having like any kind of iframes and then it slowing you down, I think, when you exited it, just felt so clunky.
Yeah, it's just a lot jankier than Mirror's Edge. Like if you slide in Mirror's Edge and you aren't moving, obviously you just crouch because you have no momentum. But in Ghost Runner, you like if you keep crouching, if you keep sliding, you just build momentum.
Yeah, it's like Mario's backwards long jump. He just fucking goes.
Yeah, just play Katana Zero instead.
Oh no, sorry, Ghost Runner, you're not getting your sponsorship deals here.
Hi, Madeline Spencer. So the reason why I asked you if you were kind enough to join us today, which you were, so this is a topic that Matthew and I had discussed in the past before, but it was recently brought up to my attention again because I've heard Spencer say it so much. So, what are the syntactical implications of when you say the phrase "eat ass"? Like, is that, you know what I mean? Like, depending on. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you think eating ass is good or eating ass is bad? Like in terms of like when you're playing a game, when Spencer says, "I hope they get their ass eaten," like is that bad because it sounds gross, or is that good because ideally for some people getting their ass eaten is like pleasurable and whatever?
You want to take a shot at this?
I mean, I don't think I would ever personally say I hope they get their ass eaten. I think it depends on the character. Like if I said that about any given Mario character, I think it would be a positive.
You think it would be a positive?
Yeah, I feel like Luigi would like to have his ass eaten. He seems like the type. You know?
Okay.
I thought we were talking more about the competitors in the game, not the physical.
Yeah, if it's like a random person, I don't know, man. It's kind of
okay, but not this doesn't have to necessarily like be about like people playing games. Just like in general, if you say about anyone in any context, if you say, "I hope they get their ass eaten," is this like a positive wish? Are you wishing something positive upon them, or are you wishing something negative upon them?
I have two possible answers.
Okay.
One of them is short and lame, and the other one is long and maybe more contextually interesting.
Okay.
I feel like we might have to hear both of them at this point.
Short and lame. I think that saying that a team is eating ass just rolls off the tongue better than a team is getting their ass eaten.
Yeah, I would
You know what
say
I mean?
yeah.
Like those fuckers are eating ass, dog. You know that comes out, but those
And that would
fuckers
be negative.
yeah, right.
Okay.
I think
Mostly because the word
maybe
ass is in there.
if I could
Right.
interject too, if I was playing and I said I'm gonna eat your ass, that would be me being
a
on the
threat.
aggressive. So I think that would be a negative because I'm being aggressive. So I think that's also a factor.
Well, what I said was just that I think like if you're like, oh, this team's eating ass, you're like, that's negative, obviously, right? They're losing.
Yeah, like
But if you're like, you know, Team A is eating Team B's ass, Team A is winning. So it doesn't matter on like the target of the sex act. It just matters on like, how you say it.
Right. Team A
I guess
is
that's my
eating-
question because like I feel like all of this is derived from like the sexual act, right?
Oh, of course.
But that's the thing. Like if you are engaging in that activity, it's because it must be like enjoyable, right? Like
Well-
if you're consensually engaging in that activity, it must be like enjoyable. So like how how has that been taken and like transformed to like mean something negative? I guess is why I get confused. You know what I mean?
I think the issue for me is that I don't often hear that as a threat. You know, I might say something else. You know, beat your ass. You know, I'm gonna beat your
Right.
ass.
Oh, be your at right.
I'm gonna
Right.
eat your ass.
Like, but I guess I would also be confused. Like, if I was playing online with someone and they said I'm gonna eat your ass, I would be like,
It would be like threatening.
yeah. Well, I'd be
It's
like,
threatening,
well,
but like mysterious. It's
I'm gonna
like,
turn on my
insane.
VPN.
I think it's mystifying. You know, I'd be mystified.
That's
But yeah,
good.
it's not necessarily like the consensual implication. You're like, this team is getting fucked. It's like,
Right,
oh,
that's
maybe
true.
that's not consensual.
Oh, but I guess that's true because that also like implies a sexual act, and that's you can. Yeah, that is true. Right.
But let's hear
Interesting.
Spencer's long and contextual
Well,
answer.
The context that all of my thoughts around eating ass and getting your ass eaten are formed is that like test that we produced in
Right.
college.
Yeah, the classic quiz.
Yeah,
Wait,
which
what?
I don't know if you've talked about this on the show, Daniel.
What the fuck is that? I don't know. I'm not sure what this is.
I believe it was Mitch and I, or some combination of all of us, developed a 2-question test.
All right, sorry, just to
determine-
interrupt you. Mitch, of course, friend of the show, who's been on the show before.
Loves ass.
Yes,
Yep.
huge ass fan.
Neil, he likes young Neil and ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Only two interests. You heard it here first.
The first question is, would you rather eat ass or get your ass eaten? Right.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you want to be our
And he's
guinea
like,
pig here?
yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
yes. Both.
Yeah, no, because like that tells you if it's a positive or a negative thing to whoever you're asking. You know what I mean?
So, do you want to be a guinea pig?
Ah, shit, dude. Sure, whatever.
Would you rather eat ass or get your ass eaten?
I feel like I'd rather get my ass eaten, man.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, what if the other person has a gun?
What if the other person had a gun? Is that what
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that changes anything, dude.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
That,
That's
that's like the crux of the experiment is that it often changes the answer, but why?
Yeah, right. Like,
my answer completely.
am I getting threatened to eat someone's ass
But
or what?
we always just there's no context beyond that. They just have a gun.
They just own a gun. It's in
Well, it
it's in
could
their
be-
possession.
It's ambiguous to what that sentence means, but it's weird that it changes the answer, I think.
I interpret it as
Well, it
they
didn't
have
really
like,
change mine.
Right.
No,
Well, no, you are in actually I think like the minority though. I think most people change their answer when we administer this.
I think I will say, if you start off at getting your ass eaten, I think you stay there because you're already sort of the victim to the situation, and you know you're a less active role.
But
That is, I think when I was first received this from Nick Kirshner, I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather have my ass eaten.
I don't know who has the power in this situation.
Friend of the
Without
show,
that,
right?
With the gun.
what if they didn't have a gun? What's the power stance here?
I like which person, like with the ass eater ass.
Yeah.
I think that's a contextual thing.
I don't know. So I guess my take on this is, you know, like, all right, so like by definition, ass like excretes waste, right? So like
Like
that's
it's-
something. So like that's something that I don't inherently want to do. some people find it pleasurable, but like I'm not inherently like driven to do it. So, like I feel like given these only two choices, I feel like I would rather be on the receiving end as opposed to like on the performing end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
That stands to reason. So my understanding, or at least my answer, was that I think in the first question I would rather eat ass because given a consensual option without any like power, there's no gunboat diplomacy going on. I don't think I'd want to get my ass eaten just because I don't really want to be in that position. I don't like picturing like someone's lips.
something right on you.
Yeah. But then if the power dynamic is shifted so much that my life might be threatened,
Yeah.
then I would rather get my ass eaten because this could just be like a dirty hobo with a gun.
Right, and also, I don't want my mouth.
Wait, why does that change? You're still doing something you don't want to.
If it's a consensual situation, I think I would know the track record of that person's ass.
Exactly.
I'd be like, I think you've cleaned it recently.
Right.
But
Well,
then
if
also,
Spencer's like, I want to do it if it's a dirty hobo with the dirtiest butt.
Well, I also it could just be someone with a gun.
But
and also, if it's their first time eating ass and you don't do a good job, the person has
they'll kill you?
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know if I even interpreted that far. I think they're just into any amount of ass eating.
Like, if you really do a bad job, I don't know.
In a dark alleyway with a weapon, and they said, "All right, Buster, you either eat my ass right here, or I eat your ass, or you die."
What an accommodating assailant.
Yeah, I know. I gotta give him some credit.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah, that's food for thought, right?
Did that answer your question at all, Daniel? I don't think it might not.
Well, now I know what Spencer means when he said was what brought upon this whole, what spawned this thought in my brain to begin with. Every time I've heard Spencer say it over the last like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I don't know if it really enlightened.
Because Spencer has said it in the context of Rocket League, in the context of just talking, in the context of professional soccer, all sorts of context. So it got me thinking,
Maybe I have an obsession.
I've never said, I'm going to threaten to eat ass or threaten for someone to have their ass eaten. Strangely enough, in my mind, a fairly non-offensive sexual act.
Hey, you know what's odd too is that I think that if we were losing a Rocket League game, I might say like
we're getting our ass eaten or we're eating ass. I don't know.
You could say either, right? Isn't that weird? Yeah.
You could say completely either. And then at the end of the game, if the scoreline is like 8-2 and we lost by like 6 goals, I'll be like, dude, we got our asses eaten. You know what I mean? I would never say that we ate ass. We were like so victimized in that situation that we just had no like autonomy.
Dude, we ate so much ass that game. You know what I mean? That also like conveys that feeling of like defeat.
Yeah. It's tough. It's wonderfully flexible.
But it is flexible, but at the same time, it's ambiguous.
It's flexible, but it depends on the person saying it.
In its flexibility, it ends up becoming ambiguous.
Right.
I guess the word fuck is so like contextually motivated too, right? Like fuck can fit in any sentence and mean all kinds of different things.
It's a good point. Which is it's also like a similar act.
Yeah, right. Isn't that weird?
I guess that's the conclusion. It depends on the context in which it's being said.
That's a very like philosophy degree answer, and I'm sorry. But that's just the world we live in.
I guess you could say that about any word.
Yeah.
Which is a very satisfying answer.
No, it's not, but it's sure fucking true.
Yeah.
Oh, we ate syntax's ass today, gentlemen.
Good one.
I guess it depends, right? Because like, if again in the context of losing 8-0 in Rocket League, and Spencer says, "Dude, we ate so much ass," like I immediately, I guess I know that we didn't perform well.
We're just finding out who likes to get their ass eaten and who doesn't, because Spencer uses it as a negative, but not everyone would.
I guess that's a hidden property of the question.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You get to learn about people.
Spencer does not want his ass to be eaten.
I don't think I do, unless they have a gun.
Then it's enticing. Don't you feel weird saying that?
Saying what?
That the gun entices you?
No, it does not entice me. Did I say?
Yeah, you said unless they have a gun.
Yeah, I said you don't want to get your ass eaten. You're like, unless he has a gun.
Well, yeah, but then I don't want to eat his ass so much that I'll get my ass eaten.
So you've been enticed by the gun.
No, I have just been so turned off from the alternative. It's my only choice. It's like voting for Biden.
So exactly. Oh yeah.
Right. Madeline wouldn't know about this because she voted for Yo Jorgensen.
Hidden Joe
I know.
Jorgensen
Why did
vote.
so many people vote for Yo Jorgensen?
Because there's a lot of libertarians. It's surprising.
Yeah. I didn't even know she was a thing until someone brought her up, and then
People
I voted for her.
are so tired of being treaded upon.
Right.
Also, can we just say we pronounce it Yo Jorgensen as a meme, as a joke? We don't even know if that's how it's pronounced.
I don't know how to say her name. I've never heard anyone say it besides you.
Yeah, exactly.
Libertarians of this fandom, how do you say Yo Jorgensen?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, guys.
I bet Robbie is a libertarian.
Didn't she get like 2% of the popular vote?
She got quite a bit of it.
Yeah,
Yo-yo.
and there's gonna be like 50 people listening, so like at least statistically one of them will have voted for her.
I don't listen, so I'm not one of those people. And I
Well,
didn't
thank you,
vote.
Maddie.
You did vote, but it just said it on the paper, I guess.
Can you imagine if I accidentally actually did vote for her and I've just been joking about it this whole time?
Well, we'll never
Thank you,
know.
Maddie.
I know.
No, you can check people's voting.
No, you can check whether or not they voted. Oh.
Oh.
You can check what party they vote for.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
shit.
Isn't that kind of fucked up?
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Elon Musk.
Okay, and I guess the last thing that was on my list of topics, just to, I guess, start closing this shit out, taking advantage of the fact that we have world-renowned Donkey Kong Country fan Spencer Biddle joining us today.
Yo.
Dude, can so we've talked about it, but like, can we just like elaborate on? Yeah.
Before we go into this really quick, I'd like you to refer to me throughout this segment as Dr. Kong Country.
Dr. Kong
Okay.
Country, Mr. Dr. Kong Country. What do you make out of the fact that at the beginning of the first Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong doesn't just walk out of his house; he like gets cannon shot out of it, and he just like falls into the ground. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen the game, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you make of that?
It's a major inconvenience for Donkey, and I feel bad for when he has children.
Why?
Well, think about
Why?
like a toddler being launched out of a cannon that fast. Like, they're not surviving.
Well, that's why you start training them.
But-
Well, does he have to shoot his kids?
But
out?
there's
Yeah,
also
every time you walk through the door, it launches.
Oh, I thought he just activated it because isn't it like urgent? He's like, I gotta go, so I'll
No.
turn on the cannon.
If you walk back in the house and then leave the
he
house,
just walks
again,
in.
It does the exact same thing.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure babies are bouncier because they're more relaxed because they don't understand danger. Therefore, the toddlers would be fine.
But hold on. There isn't even a cannon in the doorway or anything. It's just a door.
No.
So like, what's the deal?
I think it's just like a welcome mat.
That's just Cranky Kong kicking on the way out.
It's like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant. I don't know why I'm bringing him up.
It's a kind of an Inspector Gadget thing to have a welcome mat turn into a cannon. That's like kind of there.
Go Gadget cannon welcome mat.
Yeah, and then it like you fall in and it comes out like the Mario 64 cannon. Then it retracts after it shoots you.
Right.
So no, it's a Wallace and Gromit.
Is that happened in Wallace and Gromit? I don't know.
No, but they would do something like that.
He's got a whole like.
He gets launched out of bed.
I mean, you've seen how he gets dressed. He has like a whole underworld. When Daniel first brought this question up to me, I considered what like bringing eggs to a neighbor must be like for Donkey Kong. Like just walking out the door, and being launched at like 40 miles an hour, like carrying a couple of eggs and some sugar to your neighbors, or like just a banana.
He's got to do them two at a time.
But then the eggs will still be all shaken. Like maybe the eggs won't crack, but they'll still be all like shaken up, which is some people don't.
Well, he
prefer that,
does.
You know?
He does like a sextuple front flip.
Well, what if it's like a beer?
Oh, that'd
God,
be messy. Yeah.
A mock
Or like a
juice.
can of soda or whatever.
I don't know what to make of it, Daniel. It must be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And I guess the last topic, I guess the last point that I wanted, it's still about the same topic of Donkey Kong Country. What's the deal with Neki? What's the deal with Neki, man? He's just like a big. What kind of bird even is he? And like, why is he so big? And why does he straight up just like vomit out whole ass either almonds or coconuts to try to kill Donkey Kong with them? You know what's going on?
I believe all Nekis are vultures.
Vultures.
I always kind of thought they were walnuts, but they could definitely be almonds. And either
Oh,
way,
I guess it could be
big
walnuts,
nut.
whatever. And it's just
That looks
barfed
like
out
it.
whole, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I don't know. Like Neki must have like some kind of resource of walnuts or whatever that is, just whole in their being.
Yeah,
in their being,
yeah.
just like barfed
Deep
them
in
out
his
like that.
digestive tract.
Right.
I guess what really disturbs me is giant neckies, because the normal neckies, I can assume that they just like ate a walnut and they're barfing it out at you, but the ones that are coming out of giant neckies, GI
Those are
tract,
huge. Yeah,
are like they're size of a car, right? Like, that's
they're
not
bigger
a
than
natural
Donkey Kong.
production. Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
Bigger than a full-grown gorilla. So again, I don't know what to make of it, except that maybe we should refer a Neki to like a gastroenterologist or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because it must not be
If
very
Neki's-
good for its. It must not be very good for its sphincters to like keep barfing out whole ass walnuts like that.
Yeah, walnuts are rough on the outside.
Was mess shit up. Yeah. Matthew, do you have anything to add to this? You've played the games.
Okay, so I've looked at the wiki, and it turns out Nekis are not legal citizens of Donkey Kong Country Island, despite residing there.
Oh, what
I
assholes!
believe it.
Illegal
Yeah.
aliens.
Nekis are enemies found in the Donkey Kong series. They reside on Donkey Kong Island and are constantly harassing the citizens, which means they
Right.
aren't the citizens.
That's-
It implies that they're not citizens. Yeah.
So there you go.
I mean, if a hyena is born in America and then a citizen,
Okay,
Yeah,
but,
like
but you're
who
comparing Donkey Kong to a human.
is Donkey Kong to be able to determine the citizenship of someone?
he's the
He
king.
he clearly has a vendetta against Nekis.
But have you,
I found
have you
the
seen
answer.
America?
Well, the reason is because they stole his bananas. No.
Yeah, and
Okay.
DK is definitely the king. He's got
But
a
they don't eat
melody.
bananas. They're just being assholes because they're carnivores.
Oh, right.
But Owen says that actually a vulture may eat the stomach of another dead animal that may have almonds on it, and then it would have to vomit the almonds,
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
which is pretty gross. But
Wow.
Oh, vulture's vomit is about self-defense. It's nasty.
So then who's eating all the almonds on Donkey Kong Island?
and they're huge. It must be like a big mouse.
No.
Right.
There
Right,
are
right.
orangutans that are not treated on the
Yeah.
same level.
Oh, really? There's some.
As-
Oh,
Color.
that's true. Yeah, that is true. That is
Getting
true.
a sense that this island kind of sucks.
The orangutans are referred to as a gang. Even that must have
Wow.
implications,
You're right.
right?
I'm thinking that this is a Donkey Kong oligarchy or something.
Yeah, this is some poorly concealed xenophobia.
Right.
Very poorly
Right, right.
concealed. That's why you should play Kirby instead.
Damn, there's a Donkey Kong enemy called the Cat of Nine Tails.
Yeah, dude, they're awful. They
Yeah.
throw at you.
Yeah.
That's a pretty violent name for a Donkey Kong enemy.
They trap you. They fucking trap you.
I just meant it's kind of a weird name for a children's game, I guess.
Well, that's the pirate game. It's
Oh,
very-
okay.
Yeah.
Very adult.
We are over like an hour and 15. Just
Yeah, we should start wrapping it up.
Everybody that listens to this should also watch the Red Green Show. It's available on YouTube.
The what?
Maddie's dad is the owner of the Red Green Show. And
I
host.
wish.
Thank you for disclosing that. But
Yeah.
she has
Yeah.
stakes in it.
She
No, my
receives
dad-
all profits from.
My dad is the American side.
Okay, but I will. If you send me the link to this show, Maddie, I will put it in the description.
Oh my god. I was kidding, but it is. I mean, I grew up on it. I made Spencer watch it.
Okay.
It's not good.
Okay, then yeah. If Spencer's seen it,
All right,
I saw one
Madeline.
episode.
Madeline, what have you learned today, dude?
I feel like I learned a lot.
Can you like reduce it to one thing?
I learned a lot about vultures just now, but we did do that on the show. Yeah, I think I'm still processing it. There's so much information.
Yeah, all you listeners out
Spencer.
there, count your lucky stars. This is free.
This is a college course.
I learned that there's a scalper king that presides over all scalpers and makes political
Yeah.
statements for them. I think that's like a rat king in a sewer,
Mhm.
Besides that, I just learned that everything has no answer,
Right.
per
Right,
usual.
Matthew Peterson.
well, first of all, I learned there's a enemy named Cat of Nine Tails in Donkey Kong, which I don't like. It makes me think of Jesus dying,
Oh,
which
God,
I
man.
don't like.
Was he kind of nine's tailed?
He was not killed with it, but he definitely got Cat of Nine Tailed for overnight by the Romans.
Why? I guess he was probably whipped. I don't know if that was a. did they
I mean,
have
that's
that?
what we learned in
Oh, I
church.
didn't even know that
there's
was a-
million
I didn't even know that was a-
interpretations.
You went to church?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that
for
was
like-
a saying.
Yeah, when I was like in middle school or whatever.
Dude, I
Yeah,
learned that Matt went to
yeah, I
church.
learned that Matt
I'm
went to
changing
church.
my answer. It's a big deal.
I would
Back
say
when
I
they
got
used to, they used to not do it in English.
What?
When I mean, they would talk in English, but the sermons used to be in Latin.
No shit.
Do you know Latin?
No one knows Latin. It was just like for the sake of doing it until they changed it because no one was going to church because no one speaks Latin.
Do you go to like? Well, we can talk about this later.
I learned that cat of nine tails is an idiom. I did not know that was a thing. Oh, it's a weapon.
What is
Oh, it's like the way. Oh, I get. Now I understand why it makes you think of Jesus and whatever. Oh, I get you.
Yeah, it's vicious.
What is it?
Oh God, dude.
It's a whip.
What is
Yeah.
Tails' name?
Miles Tails.
Miles Prower.
Okay, so he doesn't have 9 in it.
Well, that's what I learned. I learned that there's a weapon called cat of nine tails.
We got through Daniel's list of random shit he wanted to talk about, which is a hell of a huge accomplishment. We actually didn't because Daniel once again forgot to talk about Pumpkin Jack. But coming up next week,
God damn it, man.
don't worry about it.
Save it for the next.
I'm not gonna
one.
go
All right.
into it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, hold on. Can we just thank Madeline for her bomb ass fucking fan art that she made for the show?
Oh yeah, thank you, Madeline, for that. That was good.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Hell
You
yeah.
can see it on our
Like,
Instagram.
subscribe, heart, reveal.
Up thumb,
Yeah.
ring the bell.
Comment how
Comments.
you pronounce Yo Jorgensen and what you
Observe.
thought of the Red Green Show.
Yeah,
Copy
please.
paste.
We really want to
Turn
know.
on notifications.
Yeah. Re-upload and claim it to be your own. Do whatever you can.
Message Owen.
Yeah, message
Scalp
Owen.
it. Scalp.
Avoid
The
Commit
show.
tax
Scalp
fraud.
dialogue tree
Yeah.
merchandise.
Yeah, just download the episode and then just edit out the part really poorly where we say the name
Yeah.
and just be
This
like, this is Logic Dive or
Birch
whatever, and just
Hangout.
be like, yeah. There's 2 people. I mean, there's 4 people, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for coming out, everyone.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see you
been a
next time.
pleasure.
Peace out,
All right.
boys.
Good night, gentlemen
Yeah.
and ladies and listeners.